You pack up quick. You're tired, it's late at night. It's been a long gig, a long show. You throw everything into one suitcase and throw it in the back of the truck. And then, next Friday rolls around, you got another show to do. You look for your picks, you look for your capo, you look for your strings, you can't find anything. Organizational skills. Oh, plan B. Hey there, welcome back. I was stumbling around on YouTube a few weeks back, and I saw a video or a YouTuber that had mentioned they never need a plan B. So I'm assuming that they bring everything that they need in a box, in a suitcase, to each of their gigs, and they never need to have something else over here in another box. Well, I've tried to do that, but it's never it's not a 100% foolproof plan. You really, if you're a singer-songwriter, combo player, acoustic guitarist like myself, you're always going to need a plan B. So even if you do think you're bringing everything with you, if you've got an extra guitar pick in your pocket, that is a plan B. So you do have a plan B. Everybody needs a plan B. So first off, we'll start with your guitar. You're going to a gig, you're either playing electric guitar, you're an acoustic guitar player. You've got yourself and you've got your guitar in a case. So I put together a list of all of the things that I like to bring to a gig in my guitar case. I might have other of these same items in my travel suitcase or in the glove compartment of the car. I keep things all over the place because you never know when you're going to need them. You never know when you're going to need a plan B. So, always important. And I've got these in a little plastic bag here. I've got things all over the place that I put together for this video. You need extra guitar strings. Some players like to just keep E strings in their guitar case because they are always breaking an E string, or a G string will break a lot of times. I keep sets of strings, different sets for different guitars. Acoustic guitar strings for XYZ for this guitar. Diodarrios or whatever these are here for an electric guitar. As long as you're set, because you never know when you're going to break a string and you're going to need another one. And if you don't have one, that guitar can be useless unless you like playing with 5 strings or 4 strings on your 6-string guitar, which has been done. Alrighty, next up, inside the guitar, if you do break a string or you have to do a string change, a set of strings before a gig, whatever, string winder tool, just hold that up there for you. And this has wire cutters right here on the tip or on this side of it, and and you got peg lifters or whatever they're called. Important to have inside your guitar case. I keep one of these in each guitar case. If you're a slide player, okay? If you're a slide player, carry an extra slide in your guitar case. I was playing a gig with my trio. It was a wedding anniversary. The slides were fine. I had one sitting on my music stand when we were packing up after the gig. I picked up the music stand, didn't know anything was on it, and my favorite glass slide rolled off the edge and just dropped in slow motion and broke all over on the concrete. So that was the end of my slide. Keep an extra one in your guitar case. You never know when you'll need one. And these guys, real important. Capos. These are Shubs. These are one of my favorite brands. This is a Kaiser. Important thing about capos is, aside from keeping one in each guitar case like I do, or having an extra one on hand, make sure that the width of your neck of the guitar fits the capo right. I've got a couple of guitars that are a little wider at the nut. I need a longer capo. If it's, some of these capos just barely cover the 6 strings, and that can be a pain. If it slips off or it's too close, you'll get a buzz on a string. Capo is important. I remember I played a farmer's market last year. I was playing farmer's market gigs up in Charlotte, and Saturday mornings, and I got to the gig, had my songbook with me, had everything, but I did not bring a capo. I had 2 acoustic guitars, no capos. So that automatically changed my set list. I had to play, of course, without capos, and I do a lot of songs off the 5th fret, the 7th fret, the 3rd fret, capoing all over the place. So it changed the set list on the spot. Important thing to have a backup of: keep a capo, an extra capo, and keep one in the guitar case too. A few weeks back we did a video on fingernails and how to take care of them for if you're a singer-songwriter, guitarist, combo player. I keep a nail file in every guitar case. I keep nail clippers in each guitar case. And in my regular suitcase, my survival pack, I keep, as we said in that video, some stick-on nails. Good to have these things on hand, and again, I keep them in each guitar case. So, having them in the guitar case is basically Plan B. Right. Another thing that I keep in each guitar case is a cloth for wiping the strings down and whatnot. And that leads us to guitar picks. I have assorted guitar picks and other gadgets in here, but a lot of picks. These are Torque-Tex, the yellow guys, 0.73 MMs. I keep guitar picks in each guitar case. I'll throw some in my pocket, but there have been a few gigs where I forgot to put the guitar picks in my pocket, and I was literally out in my truck lifting up the floor mats and looking in the glove compartment and the console to find 2 or 3 extra picks that I could bring back into whatever venue we were at, so I could have a couple guitar picks, because I just didn't bring any. There weren't any in the case for some strange reason. So just having them in the truck, you know what?
It was a Plan B.
If you are a guitarist, it's a good idea as your Plan B to bring an extra guitar with you. If you're an acoustic guitarist, bring an acoustic guitar. Bring a second acoustic guitar. If you're an electric guitarist, bring 2 electric guitars. I sometimes will bring 1 acoustic, 1 electric to trio gigs. If the acoustic guitar would stop working for some strange reason or break, fall back on the electric, and vice versa. You're limited with the type of music you're going to play, of course, but you'd still get by the gig. It's nice to have a backup guitar. What do you think of that? Is that okay? My Plan B is to get out of here. Another good thing to have for your guitar players, an extra guitar strap, and make sure you bring guitar stands. I've forgotten them before. You got to keep your guitar in a case. It's a pain in the shabooble. Now, inside this green bag is loads and loads of cables, mic cables, 1/4-inch TRS cables, TRRS cables, iPhone cables, 9-volt battery pack, you know, I've got everything in here. You always need cables. Mic cables I've got over here. Definitely keep extra cables because you never know when you're going to need a cable. This is a regular guitar cable, other regular guitar cables. I've got little 3.5 mm guitar or not guitar cables, but these are used for iPhone mic applications. All kinds of cables. I've got cables all over the place, but every once in a while, you're in some venue, you'll need cable XYZ, and it's going to be in your little backup Plan B suitcase. Yeah. Hey, can you hand me that? Yeah. Thanks. You want the soldering iron? It ain't been used in decades, man. Another thing to have in your plan bag survival kit is a soldering iron. This one's missing its tip. I think I've got another one in the case, but this one I got out of the toolbox. Good to have. We don't use them as much as we used to years ago when you'd have to fix things on your own, like a gizmo box, a pedal, or even 1/4-inch guitar cables. We used to have to repair mic cables. But good to have a soldering iron, some solder, some flux. These guys are important. I don't, in acoustic guitars, like my Taylor and some of the acoustic pickups use 9-volt batteries, so they're good to have for that. I don't use these anymore for pedal boards since I'm using Psyox or whatever, multi 9-volt applications in pedal boards. But it's good to have a 9-volt battery or two in your survival Plan B suitcase too. You never know when you might need one. And if you are picky about picks, about your guitar picks, in your Plan B setup, have different styles of picks. If you use different strings on different guitars, you prefer a particular guitar pick for a particular guitar. Use different, have in your supply, in your arsenal, different guitar picks. And they come in all kinds of pretty colors too. What do you need? The extension cord? All right, we've covered most of what I think belongs in a guitar case for a Plan B situation. Now we're going to move to the song sheets, tablets, music stands and whatnot, which are part of the singer-songwriter acoustic guitar gig type setup. A lot of folks these days use, this is a Samsung tablet. I've got Setlist or Setlist Maker, I forget the name of the software on here, that has 100 or 200 songs on it. The issue sometimes with a tablet is, of course, it's got to be powered up. If it runs out of power during a show, you're up a creek. You're up a creek without a paddle. And getting the songs organized can be tedious with a tablet. They have to be formatted correctly. They have to be, of course, in the right order. You've got to get all your eggs in the basket right here and make sure that this is working properly. Now, this is an iRig Blue Turn, which syncs with the tablet, with the software, Setlist software, whatever, and it'll turn your pages. It can scroll the songs as you're playing. Now, I've had problems with this where, this also, by the way, takes AAA batteries. So you have to make sure that it's powered up and have backup batteries in your Plan B suitcase. So these have to be in sync. If there's problems with this not being in sync, I've had issues with this while I'm playing shows. So I use this sometimes as a Plan B. Sometimes I'll use it as my main source for song lyrics and whatnot, or chords are sometimes kept in here too. It's mainly I use it for song lyrics. So that said, this is either my main source or it can be a Plan B. What I'll use as a main source is the old school tablet, or old school I should say notebook, with individual sheets that these are plastic insert wraps or whatever, and they're organized set lists, and there's probably 70 or 80 songs or whatever in here. This is my go-to usually at most gigs. I use a large Manhasset music stand. And another thing here as part of your Plan B is a light. So this light fits on my music stand. You need a backup bulb, because if the bulb goes, you're going to be in the dark. In the dark. Have an extra light, and that fits right on the music stand. Okay? Now one problem with the sheets, if it's a windy day, these guys will blow all over the place. I mean, the plastic sheet wrap or whatever it's called here helps, but so it's a good idea to have some kind of clip. This is just a loose leaf binder type clip that you use for, I don't know. It's like a chip clip. Actually, a chip clip would work fine. I've got a couple of those over there on the garage fridge. A chip clip will work fine, alligator clips, any type of clip, so that you can clip these guys and the wind can blow all at once, and it's not going to impact your song sheets or your ability to sing the lyrics in a nice way. Now, if you don't have a clip and it's a windy day and you're using loose leaf, notebook paper pages for your lyrics, your songs are going to be blowing in the wind. Blowing in the wind. Whoosh. Another item that I usually bring to gigs is, no matter what type of gig I'm playing, you never know what's going to happen, is a chair. I've got actually I think it's the chair that I'm sitting on right now is my gig chair. It's just a little inexpensive folding chair, because if you do forget to bring a chair, I've been at shows in wine pubs and even some larger venue breweries where all the seats are taken. Every stool in the joint is being used, has a Heiner sitting on it. And of course, you'll play the gig standing. So, but in some venues, it's preferable to sit down. And if you don't have your own chair, you might find yourself standing. If you've had a long day of work and you feel like sitting, you better bring a chair, because the venue might not have a chair for you. You never know. And that's why you need
A Plan B.
Now, one other item that's important to bring in your Plan B arsenal is a tip jar. I use a Clausen pickle jar. I keep some music business cards inside of it, throw a $1 bill in there, maybe a 5 or a 20. And start the tips off, and hopefully people will start throwing tips your way. And you put the business cards in front of the tip jar. Okay. If you forget your tip jar, your Plan B is go grab a wine glass or some kind of large glass, preferably, or some kind of wine urn or whatever you can find, and use that as your tip jar. Or I've used guitar cases quite often too at solo shows. And of course, you know, your main source of power, your guitar amps, your PA system, they're bigger issues. If you're playing through an electric guitar through a guitar amp, I remember playing a high school graduation party way back years ago. My Fender Twin blew both of its speakers, and you know, 5 minutes went by. We figured out what it was, of course, pretty quickly, and I wound up plugging into the PA board, and we still, you know, were able to go on with the fun show.
What do you need? The extension cord?
A few other electrical items that are good to have in your Plan B arsenal. This little guy right here is a 3-prong to a 2-prong. Some of these older venues might only have 2 plug outlets, and you got to plug this guy in, and then you can plug your ground plug, your usual 3-prong ground plug. Haven't used this little guy in many years, but years ago they were used quite often. Old buildings in Philadelphia, we used to use these. Power supplies, important to have. My trio played a show at a brewery, gosh, last year maybe. We all showed up, we plugged in. We had one PA speaker that had no place to plug. Our bass player had to go out, which great of him. He went out and got a couple surge protectors, and we plugged everything in, and everything went down. But good to have a surge protector or an extra surge protector. And of course, the extension cord.
Plan B.
Alrighty, a few general items that are good to have in your Plan B arsenal. Quack, 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 quack. Duct tape. Duct tape is good for tying up loose cables. If there's a walkway and you got to run a cable across, you can use this. It's good for tidying up loose stuff. You can even, your mic clip breaks. This has become your tape that holds your microphone onto your mic stand. It's anything this can be used for. Real. Electrical tape too. That can also be used. Now we'll talk about a couple of personal items, I guess you can call them. It's a sunny day out there, you're ready to do a show, got your music stand all set up, you might need some sunglasses, okay? Important item to keep along in your vehicle for your shows, okay? If you do wear glasses like I do, I usually have to put on a pair of glasses to find the glasses that I want to wear. So it's good to keep an extra pair of glasses in your Plan B suitcase. Okay, so I'm wearing these. I might wear these while I'm setting up. I've got another pair sitting next to my pedal board or on my music stand or in my suitcase, just in case these drop or something happens. I've got a Plan B.
Plan B.
Water. Got to stay hydrated. Bring water with you. I usually carry this as some kind of nut bar. Nut bar. Eat before the shows. And if you don't have time to eat, take these things with you. Make sure you drink some water. Get something to eat. I've been played a couple shows where I've had no dinner. Let's say you eat lunch at 2 o'clock, the show's at 7 or 8 o'clock. Haven't had time. You set up all this equipment, and by the third set, you're ready to pass out. You know, you gotta eat some food, and you gotta stay hydrated. Important stuff. And it's always good. It's always good to have. What is this? Wood filler? No, this is Elmer's wood filler. You don't need this. Sorry. What are you giving me that for? And another thing these days is even pre-COVID, if you'd go to a venue that had no paper towels left after you go to use the little boys' room, you have some of this in your pocket or back on your music stand. You can keep your hands clean and fresh for your gig. Okay, it's good to have this, especially now during the times that we're living in. Keep some of this everywhere and use it when you need it. I think that kind of covers personal items. Make sure you get rest. That's important too. If you do have a gig, get some rest. Be ready to play. Yeah, I've got all this stuff written down here. I've gathered all these things. I probably forgot something. So if I did forget something, leave me a comment down there somewhere. Make sure you subscribe over there, or is it over there? Leave some comments. Let me know if I forgot anything, because there's always, again, that's why that's why I'm putting this video together. There's always something that you're going to forget, and that's why you need
A plan B.
So here's one. If you're not feeling good, say you're a singer-songwriter and you have a little scratchy throat. Okay, this happened to me at a wine pub show 4 or 5 years ago. During the winter time, I had a show on a Saturday night. You know, I had like a cold, my throat was scratchy. So I couldn't hit the notes that I that I usually hit, you know, couldn't get those high notes. And what I wound up doing, my plan B, since I couldn't sing, I sang the low gravelly Tom Waits type tunes. But if I had to grab some Nancy Griffith, if I would have to grab some Nancy Griffith high notes or something like that, I stayed away from that. I'm losing my voice right now because I'm talking too much, so I've got to go to my plan B, which that night was playing a lot of instrumental guitar music. I wound up playing Pat Metheny Travels instrumental, a couple of Mr. Vague original instrumentals, and that got me through 3, 4, 5, I don't know, I forget how many instrumental songs I did, but that took some of the pressure off of me singing every song. So that worked out nice. That was an accidental plan B, just happened to have some instrumental tunes ready to go and saved the voice that night. Remember, if you don't have a plan B, your show, your gig could be just lost in space.
Lost in space. No juice. Did he say pick your picks?